Have you heard sovereigns talking about the data center business, and are they still very bullish? Are they concerned that there's a bubble? What are you hearing?
I think they're concerned about a potential bubble on the pure AI business, like, startups like, well, startups, I mean, just to call it like that, but Databricks or, XAI or, a space AI, like they are raising huge amounts of capital. Some of them are in Series L now, which we hadn't seen before. When it comes to data centers, I think they are less concerned. I think, again, because they understand the brick and mortar concept, and that data center, they believe, is still going to be needed. So I think we're still seeing a lot of activity in data centers around the world. And the beauty about data centers, I think, is like it's a very global business. So they can invest in the US, but there are also big data centers in other parts of the world. I think some of the Middle Eastern funds just invested in a huge data center in the border between Singapore and Malaysia a few months ago. So it's a very global business, and it doesn't have to stick to major cities.
Mm-hmm. Do most of the sovereigns invest directly, or do they invest through funds when they invest in real estate?
That's an interesting one, because last year, in the past few years, we have started seeing that because sovereigns and pensions are becoming so frequently co-investors, that they know each other very well, and sometimes they don't need a GP anymore. So it used to be the case where, KKR or Blackstone or BlackRock, they would put together the consortia and they would call the sovereigns and pensions. Today, they call themselves. I mean, they know each other very well, and sometimes they buy targets without the need of GP. So I think we tracked the co-investments last year. It was about $60 billion US, and I think about 5% or 10% of the capital was actually deployed without a GP in the transaction.
Wow.
So we expect more of that in the years to come.
Yeah. Very interesting. That's fascinating. Diego, what's next for your business? Where are you going to be 2 years from now?
We are still growing very rapidly, gaining market share from all the providers, newcomers, so like asset managers and any sort of player interested in the business. So our growth on the data is very consistent and very strong. But we're trying to, again, complement it with other verticals that we believe may benefit sovereigns and pensions. So we've been thinking about how to tackle the human capital side of things. So as you know, it's a very competitive market for human capital, and sometimes sovereigns really rely on people to make their investments. Sure. That's their wealth. So we've been, obviously we have what we call the Sovereign Wealth Fund Academy, which is about training their existing professionals, but we are also trying to think how to help them recruit best-in-class professionals for the future. So we expect to be focusing a little bit on that in the next year or so.
Oh, fantastic. That's great. Well, you've lived in so many places. Do you have a favorite?
I mean, in my younger days, I really loved working and living in Hong Kong. That was a special place. It was sort of a work hard, play hard kind of place. And this is actually where I started doing open water swimming. So I think Hong Kong will always have a place in my heart. I mean, the Middle East is great because of the growth. When you live there, you see the amount of new buildings surrounding you. So seeing that growth from the floor is really unparalleled. And then, part of my family is still in New York City, and we always come back. So New York will always be there as well.
Do you have a favorite restaurant?
Where in New York, you mean?
Yeah.
It's a classic, but I love going to Benjamin's Steakhouse on 42nd.
Oh, wow. There you go. You can do that. It's around the corner from us.
It's a classic, but I really love going there and bringing my clients. and having a good steak with cream spinach.
You'll have to let me know next time you're in New York. We'll go do that.
Absolutely.
Who's had the greatest influence on you personally, Diego?
I had a great boss when I was in Abu Dhabi. He was a very seasoned professional that they brought from Australia to build out the sovereign wealth fund business. And as you know, as an Australian national, he was a bit of a character, very tough personality, and not many people could keep up with him. But I could, and for 3 years, I learned a huge deal from him on the sovereign wealth fund space, on the culture in the Middle East. So I was really happy to be his right hand for 3 years. And then after that period, when he retired, I sort of took all the learnings with me. But it was a great influence in my career.
Yeah, fantastic. You're very lucky.